All right, welcome back. Lots going on around the country, around the world, and lots going on right here in little old New York City, the Rotting Apple, led by the socialist Warren Wilhelm, a.k.a. Bill de Blasio. He changed his name 3 times, so when you run for office under an alias, right there you got a problem. And, if he's not right there to screw over small businesses, we got our governor here, Andrew Cuomo, who has no problem whatsoever crushing small businesses and taking money out of small business owners' pockets and their kids' mouths with literally reckless abandon, okay? At the same time, Andrew Cuomo sent tens of thousands of senior citizens to their death by marching them back into nursing homes when he knew they had COVID and all these people were the most susceptible, all right? And while he was making these great leadership decisions, his team actually made an application for him to win an Emmy, okay? Now, let me tell you this. I used to be on the judging panel for the National Association of Theater Arts and Sciences, okay? These are the folks that watch all these crappy shows and clips and judge them to see who wins an Emmy, okay? So you cannot win an Emmy unless you make a submission. In case anybody they don't just watch all the shows and go, hey, let's give one to them. There's an application process, and you have to send in clips with descriptions and why it's great and what's the matter and all this other stuff. And then a bunch of people that, want to expand their horizons a little, they volunteer to be judges. And you sit there for 8-10 hours and watch all this crap. And then you just kind of talk through, all right, who gets it, And mostly the big firms, the ESPNs and the Disneys and the NBCs and the ABCs and all that stuff. But while senior citizens were being marched to their death like the Pied Piper of COVID, Andrew Cuomo had some members of his team exhausting resources to file an application for his news conferences to get a daytime Emmy. So that's scary also. People are dying. We're hit with something we've never seen before. We're closing down small businesses, but at the same time, we're taking state resources and applying for an Emmy award. Like, that makes some kind of sense. And then on top of that, in the middle of the crisis, Andrew Cuomo decides he's going to write a book about leadership. Okay? He's like, his leadership was leading tens of thousands of senior citizens straight to their death. Remember the old kid's tale, the Pied Piper? And they walk down with all the snakes and they walk off the end of the pier. That's what he is. He's the Grim Reaper of COVID. He's the COVID Pied Piper. Okay? He's the Pied Reaper. COVID. And while he's doing that, not only did he take time out from his work trying to lead the state to get an Emmy and kill seniors, at the same time, he had to take time out to write a book about leadership. So he got a nice fat paycheck, I'm sure, for the book, and he's selling copies because, hey, I'm Andrew Cuomo, I'm a great leader. Running the state like a mob boss. I call him Don Cuomo Leone. All right? Now, he decided this weekend that he's going to allow fans in the Buffalo Bills game because it's big and their first time in the playoffs. So now the Buffalo Bills can play with fans in upstate New York and Buffalo. And here in New York City, young kids who are squashed in their house on remote learning, they got to go to New Jersey to play sports because sports is banned, okay? But he wants a photo op so he can go sit in the owner's box in the Buffalo Stadium and watch a playoff game. This is how sick this guy is. Now, talking about football. For those of you who follow college football, we had the big playoffs this weekend. We had Notre Dame versus Alabama, a real barn burner. And in the second game, we had Ohio State versus Clemson. Now, I don't gamble. I fool around. I throw in $100 here and there to have a little fun. But on the college games, I wanted to watch them, and I wanted to have a little fun action. So I put in a 4-team parlay. So this means you put in 4 pieces of action, and you have to win them all. And if you bet $100, you can win $2,200. And if you lose 1 out of the 4, you lose all the money. You lose $100. Okay? So I put in this little bet. And I put in Notre Dame, who was the underdog, plus 18 points. And although they got their butts kicked in, they kept it close enough. And Alabama doesn't want to get anybody hurt towards the end of the game. So Notre Dame wins. And with the 18 points, they cover. Okay? Now, the total in the game was 66.5. And I didn't think there was going to be a lot of scoring, so I bet the under. And the game was under. So, woo! I have 2 out of 4. This is big. Now, Ohio State was my third pick, and they win the game going away. And my total was under 69. So, now, if this game ends with the total of both teams' scores under 69, for a $100 bet, I win $2,200. You know how much money I could have given to the church? You know how much stuff I could have bought my daughters and my son if I would win $2,200? But it was not to be. The game went over. They scored 77. So by 8 sniveling, measly points, John lost $100. Now, to end it up, I didn't want to have a stroke the whole show, so I was trying to keep it compressed. My Giants last night, although they stunk most of the year, they were in games, new coach, Joe Judge did great. We improved our defense, fantastic. We got to beat the Cowboys, our arch enemies, okay? Lenny Logatti, Mike Cardella, Fernando Uribe, all these big Cowboy fans ripping me apart, telling you how they're going to kill the Giants, and Giants have no shot. Giants win, believe it or not. Okay, even at 6-10, the Giants can get in the playoffs still in the NFC least, and all we need is the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Washington Redskins at home in the 8 p.m. game, the primetime game. And what we saw was akin to the 2020 November 3rd election. Now, Philadelphia had nothing to play for. If Washington wins, they go to the playoffs, okay? Now, the Eagles start winning the game. And the coach realizes, Doug Peterson, who should be arrested today for throwing a game intentionally, the Eagles start giving the game away. They fumble, they throw an interception, they put in their third-string quarterback, okay? And then at the end of the game, with the Eagles trailing by a few points, it's 4th and 1. Washington has the ball. And any good Pee Wee football coach would say, hey, don't go off sides. And the defense goes off sides on purpose. Washington wins. Giants, NFC least, second place. Doug Peterson should be arrested. Congratulations to the New York Giants. Congratulations to all of you for starting a great new year with me, because I appreciate you. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. More Liquid Lunch.